I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I am privileged to be recording this podcast today, the Camaragal of the Eora Nation, and I would like to recognise their elders past and present. Welcome back, everybody, to a very, very special episode of The Growth Distillery. We are shooting live from Advertising Week APAC, and I have the privilege of being able to talk to Julie Uhrman. Now, Julie is not only a prolific entrepreneur, but is the founder, CEO, and president of Angel City Football. For those that don't know the story, I'm not going to do justice now. There is a documentary that's just been released on Binge. It is unbelievable. Go check it out. You'll hear all about the journey of Angel City Football. But Julie, today it's just about getting to know you and getting your take on things in Adland.
Amazing. Well, thank you for having me. And thank you for the incredible pitch to see Angel City on Binge. I appreciate it.
You are most welcome. All right. Julie, the biggest idea in advertising right now?
I mean, I think the obvious answer is social, right? And how do we engage fans on social? How do we grow our audience on social? I'm probably more bearish on social. I'm just tired of being on my phone. I'm tired of scrolling. I'm tired of 2 seconds. So I think what people aren't talking about is the value of experiential and out of home. I think people want to go out and do things together, create a sense of community and experiences. And that's where I'm focusing a lot of our time at
sharing
Angel City.
that fandom.
That's right.
What's something we're all buying into that you think is absolute rubbish?
The value of influencers.
Ooh, good answer. Why?
Because I think that to authentically represent a product or yourself, you have to have some real intention and meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are becoming influencers because everybody has a phone. Everybody has a light. Everyone has the ability to broadcast it, and being able to democratize that is incredible, but there's too much noise.
Yep.
And so I think it's going to contract back to those that are experts, that have an authentic voice, they have some sort of meaning behind it. It's not really just about selling product, but what is the purpose? What is the value, and how, and why do I want to give you my time?
I think that's a really, really interesting answer. What should marketers and advertisers be paying attention to right now?
Women's sports. Women's sports. And I know that's maybe self-serving, but I do believe that the fastest growing industry right now is in women's sports. We're seeing it with the World Cup in 2023. Nearly 2 billion viewers, 1.5 million tickets sold. That's more than what's happened in 2019 on the heels of the Euros, certainly on the heels of Angel City's success from a commercialization standpoint. But it's an opportunity to live your values and speak to 50% of the audience that you have not been speaking to when it comes to sports, and then recognize that sports is loved by both men and women. So there is a huge ceiling. There are very few participants. And for your investment, you can receive a lot of value and brand equity.
I feel as though we really are at that inflection point now. I mean, the Women's World Cup seems to have been a catalyst for real uptick.
Absolutely. Look, everyone talks about women's sports as a moment in time. If you have 2 or 3 moments back to back, it's now called a movement, right? And we are at a point where it is now a movement where you will be left behind. And those that catch on now will not only be catching on at a lower price point, but they'll be seeking on the value on the way up. And it will create a positive brand halo for the brands that associate with them. So partnering with Matildas, partnering with Angel City Football Club, partnering with the U.S. Women's National Team, you're not going to get greater brand share, brand voice, and even, value of your investment than I think you can in any other industry right now.
On the other side of the coin, what shouldn't we be paying attention to?
Men's sports. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think that's a hard question to answer because, you pay attention to what matters to you.
Yep.
Right. But I think what's important is paying attention to those that are authentic, paying attention to those that share your values. And I think most importantly, it's when you can take that product or experience or fandom and share it. Because if I'm sharing it, that means I created the highest value for that product or experience or team. Yeah. And that's what I would pay attention to.
Awesome. What excites you most about the year to come?
Angel City Football Club has not won a ring yet. So we are still in the process of trying to make it to playoffs. I'm excited about our future. I'm excited about female leadership. I'm excited about, the audacious, bold leaders that are starting to use their voice and share their story, because it's never a linear path and there's always successes and failures along the way. But being able to hear those authentic stories are inspiring. And being at Ad Week and, being at the Women's World Cup, you're hearing all these incredible, inspiring stories. And it's not just from those who succeeded, but it's from those who didn't win a game or didn't make it out of the group stage and what the experiences meant to them hearing those stories are just as aspirational.
Yeah, there's a lot more around the learn and the journey toward.
Absolutely.
What keeps you up at night?
God, I'm an entrepreneur. So it's fundraising, it's, growing our audience, it's creating a incredible product for our fans, creating something that my co-founders can be proud of. I feel like we're doing something fairly significant in women's football, driving real value and attention for the sport. Greater success we have, the more others will follow, and therefore the entire industry will grow. So that's not a light
No, broad
weight,
shoulders.
but I love it. And so it just keeps you about I'm always thinking about how do we push the envelope more? How do we go bigger? How do we get better? We're never satisfied with where the bar is. So I'm constantly thinking about how to raise it.
The state of advertising in 3 words.
God, that's a good one. State of advertising in 3 words. Redundant.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
God, it's hard. It's actually hard because I'm so been boxed into the world of sports for the last 4 years that my world really is looking at women's sports and women's football, and it relates to advertising. It's non-existent.
Yeah.
Right. It's fleeting. It's limiting. It's aspirational. Not inspirational. Right. And so.
Well, maybe that's
I guess
the feedback,
right. I mean, I think that's the point, which is I'm in a place where I want to see advertising be inspirational and surprising, and community building.
I think it's a great answer. And I think that, as you said, it speaks volumes, right? The challenge in the answer. If there was a golden rule, what would it be?
Over-deliver for your customers.
It's a great golden rule. Enough said. Final question from me, Julie. Your advice to marketers, advertisers, and entrepreneurs looking to find growth this year?
Trust your gut. I think when growth is challenging, you look at data, or you look at what your competitors do. We don't look at what our competitors do. We certainly use data as a fact to make our decisions, but find who your audience is and see how you engage with them, and use your gut, and it might be surprising. And sometimes simple is best.
I love it. Julie, thank you so much for joining us on The Growth Distillery. It's been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.